Yo, hello YouTube. This is my C++ Minecraft clone, and we'll start with a summary for people that are new here, that are watching this for the first time. Then viewers that are early to the stream will get to vote what we do today. And at the end of the stream, in about 3 hours, I'll do a summary what happened during this stream. So let's start with what you have not seen for new people. Like this is introduction for new people. So this is, hello Alex, this is in Raylib and C++, this Minecraft clone, and it's close to 2 months of work. In 2 days, it will be 2 months of work, this project. So here we have chat, hello chat, that fades away, We have here a very simple village with a fountain. We have particles effects, which we like did in 3 hours. Like we were quite limited. Also, like here we can fly around in the world. We have clouds. We're using 2D noise generation. And we have a player. That collides with the world. We have a debug menu on the top left. We have some very simple caves. By simple, I mean very simple caves. Also, what else do we have? We have crafting table. Which we cannot use yet. So here we can put whatever we want, but we cannot still use. We also had a limit of 3 hours, like for the crafting table. We have TNT. That can explode and activate the other TNT around it. That's cool. What else? We have here a single command. We have a single command to summon a creeper. This is our single command, chat. To summon this creeper. And the funny thing is the TNT explosion moves the creeper. It moves the creeper. That's crazy. Because it thinks it's an TNT entity. We have here animations of the textures. And we have like support for texture packs. This is the bare bones texture pack. And before this we used the faithful 64 resolution texture packs. So we also support higher resolution texture packs. We kind of have redstone. We kind of have redstone. And I think it should even work with the piston. Like this. Yeah. And anything else? So in the last 2 streams, we started work on the fluids. Like before this, I had the like water and lava. The water was just like the lava. It stayed like this in one place. But we actually like attempted to implement the water. So it actually spreads like crazy. The water. It spreads infinitely. This is where we left off yesterday. This is from yesterday. And the water spreads infinitely. But we didn't have time to actually finish the water. And I think that's about it for the summary. And so from here on out, now we'll decide on what we're going to do. So we'll brainstorm a few ideas and chat will vote. Yeah, this goes infinitely. We didn't manage to finish the water. So now what we're going to do is what we do on all of the other streams. It's for to brainstorm ideas in a notepad. We usually just open a notepad and start brainstorming ideas. And usually we manage to pick like 60 ideas, something like that. But it's fine if it's just like Even 10 ideas, it's fine. We need more. We need at least 4 ideas, chat. We need at least 4 ideas for what to do today in the next 3 hours. So, like, the option we pick all the time, multiplayer, but we have other options, sounds. Continue, finish water physics. Finish the water. Mod support, like modding support. What else can we add today? Spreading fire we could add. Lighting, weather system, villagers, better villages, cats and dogs. What else, chat? Player, hunt, hold item, item drop, inventory, crafting, enchantments, third person, settings, beds, farming, day night we could add, commands block, more blocks, that's a bit vague, redstone, witches, finish creeper, what else? Bro, be serious, man. What else, chat? What else? Mobs, path finding. What else, chat? Herobrine, the Nether, the End, Ender Dragon, Heart and Hunger, Swimming, Geode Physics, Box 3D Physics, try Godot C++. I'm starting to memorize the options we repeat every day. Minecart, boat, shaders, saving and loading world. We have a tick system kinda. Elytra, fireworks, horse, 3D noise caves, post processing. We have player movement, bets, cows. Anything else, chat, that you can think of? Anything else, chat? We are currently brainstorming ideas for what to do in the next 3 hours. Player model, thunder, main menu, we have mod loader as an option, and we have player hand as an option, and we have third person view as an option. Game modes, ladders, 3D clouds, 3D noise terrain gen, potions, XP, survival. Yeah, we have in the game modes options. Survival. Sulfur cube, biomes, oceans, desert structure. We don't have the desert structure. Chest. Anything else, chat? We have sounds as an option. Chest. Sniffer mop. Pets. Better caves. Numbers, I'm okay with numbers being wrong as long as they don't repeat. Oh, bro, what happened with the numbers, bro? Bro, what happened with the numbers? Yeah. What happened with the numbers, bro? Oh my god, my god, my god. Anything else, chat? Ice blocks. we went back. Slime blocks. Slimes. We can try one last option to brainstorm for today. Ice bolting, bucket. Mod system, boat. Yeah, I think chat. We have enough options. Let's not get to the next option. I don't want. I don't want to write the next option. We are fine with this option. We have enough options, chat. We have enough options. Yeah, we have enough options. No, chat. We have enough options. Well, let's stop. We have enough options. So let me create a poll, chat. Let me create a poll. Pop out chat here. Let's create a poll where I need to pick 4 options for what to do today, and it will be just one, maximum 2 minutes poll. What to do, or I'm not sure how long it will be, because some people cheat. Some people cheat. We have 4. We have 4. We have 11. We have 11. We have 2. And we have... And one last option, chat. One last option. We need one last option. One. Bro, I know. I think I know what 1 is. Yeah, but chat is picking it, so we need to vote it. Okay, we have enough options. So now we are going to vote what we're going to do today, where the options are number 4, modding support, number 11, player handhold item, number 2, sounds, and number 1, multiplayer. Bro, how didn't water physics get picked as an option? Why don't we have water physics, chat? What happened? Which one is water physics? I think we had it as an option, water physics, somewhere. Like to finish the water. Yeah, number 3. Oh, we don't have number 3. Oh, some people mentioned number 3. I really wanted to finish the water. That's a bummer, chat. That's a bummer. That's a bummer, chat. So we are waiting on what chat will pick. For now, the option that's getting the most vote is number 1, which is multiplayer. No, not multiplayer. Chat, we didn't have multiplayer for a while now. We didn't have multiplayer for a while. It's fine to go back to multiplayer. It's fine. But still, chat, if you don't want multiplayer, just vote for something else. Okay, we're doing short votes now. We're doing short votes, and 1 minute is enough because people will start getting their alt accounts. 1 minute is enough. And I missed the... I'm thinking, chat, should I make another vault with multiplayer and to finish water? Because some people entered the number 3 and I missed it. Should I add like another vault between water and multiplayer? I think that would be fair. Yeah. Let's do that. Start a poll. What to do today? So between multiplayer and... Yeah, let's do it multiplayer. Finish water physics. Start poll. Okay, we're doing another poll. And it will be a short one. It will be short one because people bring out their alt accounts and they rig the vote. We need to stop the count, man. But we need to like wait at least a minute because I want everybody to vote. We want everybody to vote. Hey, look, chat, there is interest for multiplayer. I got 10 accounts on water. Don't do rigged. Have fun doing multiplayer. Yeah, we're waiting for 1 minute to pass. Bro, how is 50-50? Come on, chat, vote. Why is it 50-50? I need to pick. Okay, we're ending it, chat. Because if we hold it for longer, alt accounts will start showing up. Multiplayer won 2 times, chat. Multiplayer won 2 times. Yeah, we're ending it, chat. It's multiplayer. Chat, it's multiplayer. It's multiplayer, chat. Like, chat showed 2 times in a row multiplayer. It's multiplayer, chat. We're doing multiplayer. Oh, but that's very bad. Because I have no idea how to do multiplayer. And I don't want to do multiplayer. But chat picked multiplayer. Like, I do... Like, it's fun to do multiplayer. It's fun to do it, but I know how difficult for a single developer it is. Because everything is like 10 times more complicated with multiplayer. Oh, bro. Chat. So we're doing multiplayer. So how are we going to approach this? Because we attempted 3 times to do multiplayer. We attempted 3 times to do it. And we did it in a separate branch. And what does that mean? We wrote the code, the multiplayer code, a while ago, and we scrapped it. Well, I can bring it back, but we'll lose the water feature. We'll lose the water that we implemented, and I think we'll lose the summon creeper. We'll lose the summon creeper and the water if I go back to the multiplayer branch. No, it's fine. It's fine to go back to the It's fine. We can go back to the multiplayer branch. It's fine, chat. We can go back to the multiplayer branch and... let me think about it. Yeah, and whatever we make there, we can easily merge it with the newest features. We can easily merge it later on. It's fine to go back to the previous... Oh, but it uses the fateful textures, the previous branch. I think we can do it here. In this one. I think we can do it here. Because I will need to change a lot of stuff. Like, we did some quality of life fixes. Let me think about it. Yeah, okay. Let's bring the server at least. Let's bring the server, which should be here. This is the server. So, what did we accomplish in the 3 streams we did multiplayer? Well, we found this library init that Godot uses for managing networking. We used it and created a server which generates subchunks, the terrain. It generates the whole terrain for us. And we had the game receive the generated terrain and render it. That's what we managed to do. Yeah, okay, let's go back to that branch that we had. But I need to do a commit. Like, I need to save the last work we had with the water. So what? Yeah, water spread. Water spreading and tick system. Let's publish this and let's go to the networking branch, the multiplayer branch. Did I miss something? Is your attempt using TCP or UDP? I think it's using UDP, the init library. I think it's using UDP, but some reliable UDP. It was something like that, which I have no idea what it means. But I know only of UDP and TCP. I don't know what a reliable UDP is. Yeah, let's go to the... Yeah, let's check out here. Let's go back to the multiplayer branch. Here we do check out multiplayer. A git checkout multiplayer like this, and I think it's ignoring the texture packs. So there may be an issue with the texture packs, but let's test it out. Let's run the game. But before that, we need to run the server. So yeah, we have this server which generates the terrain, which is just a console here. It's just a console. Server started. It's just a console, and the client receives, it connects with the server. Once it connects with the server sends data to the generated terrain that we need to generate the mesh for, because it's just the block type. It's not the mesh itself. Let's see, what do we get? Let me think about it. Bro, yeah, the textures are a bit broken. Look at how the grass is how is the grass animated? Bro, I think the grass is animated. Yeah, the textures broke because I ignored them in GitHub, and we brought back the textures from the main branch to the multiplayer. I don't commit the textures. What do you mean? It looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine, man. It looks fine. What do I need to do to change them? Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Yeah, I need to update the textures. So in resources, let's find this folder. I'll just delete the textures and bring them back because they're a bit messed up. Here are the textures. Yeah, some of them are 64 resolution, others are 16 resolution. Let's just delete them. And which texture are we using? Bare bones or faithful? Because chat complained that faithful is too high of resolution. Like faithful was 64 resolution. Do we use bare bones? Chat, do we use bare bones? Yo, why is this paused? Okay, we'll use bare bones. It's fine. We'll use bare bones. Here, so we go into assets and Minecraft, textures, block. So we copy over all of this to here. And I think we need to delete fire. There was an animation that caused problems before. Campfire. It's fine. Let's run it and see what happens. It's fine. Oh, I think the water texture had issues. I think the water texture. Campfire top on, yeah. Yeah, there is a certain animation we need to remove. And it's here. No, where is it? Yeah, it's here. Campfire. It should be campfire. Top. Yeah, this one. We need to remove it. I deleted it. And let's test it again. I think we also need the water steel texture, probably. Oh, and we need to change the scaling, because the scaling right now expects 64 resolution texture. So it's just one line of code we need to change. Just need to change one line of code in the world. Yeah, here. Scale to be 1. Let's test it again. And so currently, chat voted to implement multiplayer. And currently, this terrain, we're getting it from the server. All of this. Like this terrain generation happens in the server. We just get the block types and the client generates the mesh. That's where we left off last time. I'll just change the thumbnail here. I'll change the thumbnail. And I'll change the title. So people know that we're doing multiplayer. We're doing multiplayer. And we're changing the thumbnail. This. Okay. I update the title and thumbnail. Now everybody knows we do multiplayer. Where is chat? Here is chat. Currently the generation is slow because we're sending, like we're limiting one subchunk per frame. So that's something we can immediately fix. That's the low-hanging fruit. But what else, chat? That's a low-hanging fruit. We can easily fix that. What else should we attempt today as a goal, since you guys picked multiplayer? We could, let me think about. We could have another client, chat. We could have 2 clients, right? We could have 2 clients. That's something we could do for multiplayer. We could have 2 clients here because we generated the terrain, but it's not fully multiplayer. What do I mean? Because here, when we destroy this, if we have another client here, they will not see the change. Yeah, let's have another client. I think that would be cooler if we have 2 clients. Because it's essential, like chat says, it's essential. Could you try adding a player model and a username for clients so each player has a custom name? Yeah, we can easily do it. For player model, we can use something simple like a cube, a circle, doesn't matter. And above them, we can display a name. Let's do that, chat. Let's do that. I think that would be very fun. To have 2 clients and to, like, when you break a block, that block to break for the client as well. For the other, a bean capsule. Okay. So today, chat has picked to implement multiplayer. And what we currently have is a server, and when a client joins, it receives this world generation. But it's just the block types. We generate the mesh locally. The problem is that we also handle block breaking locally as well. Like we change the block types locally. The server doesn't know we have broken a block. So when another player joins, he will not see this change in the terrain. He will not see it. The change in the terrain here. So I think it will be best if we add another client. So 2 clients to join the same server and to visualize both players, to visualize them. So I can see the other client. And to be able, when we break a block and place a block, the other client to see it. I think that would be very fun. I think that would be very fun. And here that the terrain generates slowly, it's fine. I don't care about that. That's fine. That's not that big of a deal. But first, let's fix the particles. Let's fix the particles because they expect a 64 resolution texture, and we could do an attempt to make the terrain generation a bit faster. We can do an attempt. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. It's not a priority. But we can invest like 5 minutes to make the terrain generation faster. Because we are handling 1 subchunk per frame from the server. And that's something we can do. So we'll invest here a little time on the particles and faster terrain generation. And then we'll try having 2 clients in the same server. I think that would be awesome, man. I think that would be awesome. So let me think about it, chat. Let me think about it. Yeah, particles. Let me fix the particles. So they should be in the game layer. They should be here. Particles. Like a billboard. Yeah, draw billboard here. Here it needs to be 16. That's it. It needs to be 16. And here multiplied by world scale, like this. Like this. Yo, we got a summary. Just switch to the multiplayer branch, fix broken textures by copying bare bones pack, and now planning to add player models with usernames. Yo, and what's the summary? What's the summary? After a long brainstorm, chat voted tackle multiplayer next, so we are fixing textures and planning player models. Yo, not that bad. Not that bad. Oh, that's cool. Not that bad, chat. Okay, so particles should be fixed. Like it was a one-liner, chat. It was a one-liner. Where is the terrain? Yeah, here is the terrain. Here is the terrain, and yeah, particles are fixed. We have particles. Particles are fixed. So now let's attempt to like improve the world generation to be a bit faster. Because currently when the client connects to the server starts sending all of the packets, and the client goes through them one packet is one subchunk. And it goes through them once per frame. So that's why it's a bit slower. I think. But if we're running at 100 FPS, yeah, it's like we are doing 100 subchunks per second. We are quite limited in the speed. So let's speed it up. Let's handle more subchunks per frame. Let's handle more subchunks. And where do we handle that? I think we had a folder called networking. Where was it? Networking. Here. Let's update the CMake. Let's clear the cache actually. Let's clear the cache. Because we're missing the networking file. For some reason. Okay, generation finished. Let's run it again. Run it again. What's up, chat? I need to mute a few people. 1 hour should be fine. Okay, like 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Sorry, man. Sorry, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. It's fine, guys. Fine, it's fine. So right now we are attempting to fix the terrain generation to generate a bit faster. And we handle the terrain, like generating the meshes in the networking, and the files are not showing, like here. It's a bit slower. So to speed it up, we need to access these files, which are not showing up. So let's open the Visual Studio again. Okay, now they're showing up. Now they're showing up. And where is the code for where we handle one packet per frame? Where is the code? I think it's this function. But let's check it here. Should be, let's check on update. This is the function called every frame. And let's see here, update server connection. This gets called every frame. This gets called every frame. Let's look at the code. Yeah, it's this function. Yeah. And so here we check if we have received anything from the server. And if we have received from the server, it's data for like the subchunk. So this happens like, yeah, this is an if conditional. So it will run only once for the frame. We could do a while loop. We can do a while loop, but it will freeze the whole thing. It will freeze the client because it's too many subchunks to handle at once. We can do something else. We can here track how much time has passed. And if like 0.05 seconds have passed, only then to stop processing from the server. Or maybe to process it in a separate thread. That's something else we can do. Because like I want to make the generation faster. Okay, let's process. Okay, let's limit it to like right now we're processing one subchunk per frame for generating the terrain. Let's try to do it. Let's limit it to be 100 subchunks per frame. Max packets processed equals 100. And here let's do while this is true and max packets processed is greater than 0. And here max packets processed minus like this. I think this should be, this should speed it up. This should speed it up. Chat, where is the terrain? What did we do? Yeah, while we're receiving from the server data and the process packets are... yeah, we can do it opposite. If they're 0 and while they're less than 100. And here plus. Yeah, that's more easier to understand. I still don't see the terrain generating. Okay, we can do something else. Let's remove all of this. We can do something else. Let's just process all of the packets from the server. Yeah, we still don't get the terrain. But here, when it was an if conditional, it was fine. When it was an if conditional, it was doing fine. Oh, maybe so. Yeah, maybe problem with the server. Maybe. Yeah, let's look at the console logs. Yeah, connected. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Here is the terrain. Here is the terrain. It's still kind of slow. It's still kind of slow. Oh yeah, because it's an if. Yeah. So like we're doing a conditional check. Oh no, here we can do while and wait like yeah, if it's an if conditional, we receive data. If it's while, we don't receive data. We don't receive data. Yeah, connected to server, and here a new client connected. But I don't see data coming. I don't see data coming. So why is that, chat? When it's a while loop. That's very weird. Chat, that's very weird. Maybe we need here a timeout. Maybe we need a timeout. Or like, can we... because like the issue is the terrain generation is a bit slow. And I wanted to invest like 5 minutes just to see if we can improve it. If not, we'll move on to adding 2 players in the server. But I just want to see, can we quickly improve it? Can't we quickly improve it? Here I want, because I suspected that the issue with the slow terrain generation is because we process 1 packet per frame. This gets called every frame. And once we receive 1 packet, which is 1 subchunk, we stop and we wait for the next frame. Once the next frame comes, that's when we process the next subchunk. And so like that limits us to like 100 subchunks per second, let's say, if the FPS is 100. But if how many subchunks are there actually? Let's say it's like a world 20 by 20 by 15, that many subchunks. Yes. So let's say we have 6,000 subchunks and we process them 100 per second. So it's 60 seconds. So it should generate the world in 1 minute. So it should generate it in 1 minute. So let me put a timer. I'll bring out the timer on my phone. Okay, I have a stopwatch. Let's see how fast the terrain generates. But are we using the if conditional? Okay, I started the timer. Just to have a rough estimate of how fast it's generating. So now we're at like 10 seconds. Which is very slow. 15 seconds. It should have generated by now on my single player game without a server. So like 1 minute is very slow. 1 minute is very slow. Yeah, we're processing 10 packets per 100 packets per second, and we have 6,000 to process. So like that's a minute. So yeah, I'm pretty confident this is where we get slowdown of the terrain generation. I'm pretty confident it's here. And my idea was, instead of doing an if conditional, to do a while loop. A while loop should run... Oh, I get what the problem is. Because of the wait time. It's because of the wait time. Because the while loop checks if there's data, there's no data. And so we continue. Because we don't wait here. So this integer, is this seconds or milliseconds? It's milliseconds. It's milliseconds. So 0.05 seconds to milliseconds is like 50. Let's do 50 milliseconds of wait time. Let's do 50 seconds of wait time. I don't see anything, chat. Where's the terrain? Where are the clouds even? Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Yo, we got the summary. You gave us a timeout. I time out 2 people that were not speaking in English. It's very simple. And one of them was 10 minutes. The other one was 60 minutes. That was too much. I should have done 10 minutes. Yeah. For both. Streamer is timing terrain generation with a stopwatch to confirm the bottleneck is processing only one subchunk per frame. Full recap summary. After a long brainstorm, multiplayer won the vote, so we're diving into networking code and trying to speed up terrain generation. Yeah, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Let me bring back the terrain generation. Because we need to decide now, are we going to think more on how to fix the slow terrain generation, or are we going to go towards trying to have 2 clients at the same time? Which one are we picking? Which one are we picking? Chat, which one are we picking? As much as I want multiple clients, I think the generation time is a must. You're getting obliterated. Just use multi-threading. Okay, let's try multi-threading. I think fixing the loading will make debugging easier in the future for dev. Yeah, generation time. Okay, chat. Okay, thank you, chat. Thank you. Okay. Let's. We can do it, chat. We can do it. If we do multi-threading, hopefully it will not make it more complicated, because when we did a client for a chat, we used multi-threading. We generated one thread that handled everything. Where was the thread? It was this test function, I think. Yeah, and here we just iterated. Every 60 seconds, we waited for a message from the server. Something like that. But even if we put it in a separate thread, it would be waiting. It would be waiting for how much? Like a second, maybe. Like here, it would be every second it would check for from the server. So it would still be slow. It will be even worse then, because it would be one subchunk per second. So it will be 6,000 seconds to generate everything. This is the wrong approach. We need to go to the server instead and send more data. We need to send more data to the client. We're sending too little data. I think. How is there a limit to how big a packet can be? Can we send like a full chunk? Like I sent from the server. Where is the server code? Here, server. I sent here, how much do I send? It should be when a client connects. It should be when a client connects. Client disconnected, sure. This is when we receive data, and this is when a client connects. Yeah, a new client connected. And we go over the whole terrain generation, and we send the packets. And we send the... Yeah, each sub chunk is a separate packet. Should I... Oh, somebody is sending helpful data. Does init allow multi-threading? It's fine, it's fine. It wasn't thread safe. We in the client, when we used multi-threading, we just handled in multi-threading like the response. I think should be fine. Should be fine. Send array of chunks. So 1000 kilobytes. Try sending a full chunk. Oh, okay, chat. Let's send a full chunk. Okay, chat. Okay. Let's send out more data. Let's send out more data. So here, each packet is a single subchunk. Let's move this somewhere else where we send a whole chunk. Let's send a whole chunk. Let's send a whole chunk. But I need to commit all of this. I need to commit all of this. What's this? Oh, this is texture pack. So let's go. No, not here. Yeah, let's go in the git commit. Let's stop the server. Let's stop the server because we will change the server. And here, let's commit this. Let's commit this here. Git add and git. Why am I giving a warning? And git commit. Generate terrain and send subchunk per packet. Okay, should be fine now. Git changes. Okay, it's fine. So what now, chat? So now I want to send I want to send the whole chunk instead of a subchunk. And that's how we should fix the terrain generation to be faster. And then we'll try to add a second client. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let me think about it. How are we going to tackle this? Well, we go over all of the subchunks here in 3-4 loops. Oh, so it's 20 by 20 by 20 world. Let's do 20 by 15. And we go to from the X and Z. So how should we do it? Yeah, I think we need to move first to be on the Y axis and then on the X and Z axis. And so sending the packet data should happen here. No, that's wrong. It should be a different order. It should be, yeah, the Y axis for loop should be at the end here. And after we have gone through from the 0 Y axis to the utmost 15, that's when we do the packet. That's when we do. This is one subchunk, because one subchunk is like how many? 16. Like one chunk should be 16 subchunks, something like that. Yep. Should be something like that. Let me think about it, chat. Let me think about it. We're going through the X and Z axis, and once we're done with the Y axis for generating the terrain, that's when we send the data. But right now, we want to send not a sub chunk, but a whole chunk. We want to send a whole chunk. So here we want a chunk variable. We want to store chunks. How are we going to do that? Yeah, here we have one subchunk. So we need an array of subchunks, maybe? Maybe? An array of subchunks? Like how many subchunks? Like 15? 15, maybe? Let me check on the internet for Minecraft. For Minecraft, is there information? How do they handle packets? Minecraft multiplayer packet. Do they send a single subchunk? Protocol packets. Oh, they use TCP? They use TCP. Interesting. Sure. Data types. I want to see what data do they send. Do they send a single subchunk or an entire chunk in the packets? Like here, subchunk, no, chunk, chunk batch, chunk batching. Chunk batching. So they sent multiple chunks. Yo, they like 25? What do they do, chat? Chunk biomes. What's this? So they send chunks, they don't send subchunks. That's interesting. And it's multiple chunks. Yo, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 0. Here is 0. Oh, this is interesting. Inventory slots. Yo, this is helpful. This is helpful. Interesting. Numeric ID, enchantment ID, enchantment name. Interesting. Yeah, let's search again for chunks. Let's search for chunks. How many chunks do they send? Chunk batch finished. Is there anything before this? Okay, let's go in the start and here search for chunk. What's this? Light data. Teleport flux. Oh, they send data for the lighting. Skylight. Block light. Bro, they send so much data. Game profile. Some debugging stuff that we don't care about. Player. Player always refers to the client connected to the server. An entity refers to any item, player, mob. Also, so other players are just entities. And the client player is just referenced as a player. Entity ID, 4-byte sequenced. XYZ, access names. Registry, block state. How do they handle block states? So they have compression. Packet ID, data, byte array. Have a byte array. Anything else with compression? Without compression. List of packets. Handshake, status, login, configuration. Transfer. So chunk batch finish, chunk batch start. Let's look at this. Chunk batch start marks the start of a chunk batch. The vanilla client marks and stores the time it received this packet. Oh, so it's just that. It's just the chunk batch start. It's just marking a start and end of a chunk batch, which I assume is just a bunch of... It's a data for a bunch of chunks. Just data for a bunch of chunks. Where was again the thing? Where was the entire thing? Chunk batch received. Oh, let's look at this. Notifies the server that the chunk batch has been received by the client. Also, bro, we need to notify the server that yes, server, we have received this chunk batch. The server uses the value to adjust the number of chunks to be sent in a batch. We'll stop sending further chunk data until the client acknowledges the sent chunk batch. After the first acknowledgement, the server adjusts this number to allow up to 10 acknowledged batches. Chunks per tick. Bro, their stuff is a lot complicated. It's fine, chat, it's fine. Okay, so we're sending chunks. Okay, I got it, chat, I got it. We are sending chunks. But we can send one chunk. It's fine, chat, it's fine. We'll send a single chunk. So we got a confirmation. We got a confirmation that we need to send chunks and not sub-chunks. It's fine, chat. We'll be sending chunks. And how are we going to do it? How are we going to do it, chat? Okay, how did we send a sub-chunk? How did we send a sub-chunk? We sent a sub-chunk from here. We just gave it the data and the amounts of and the size. Minecraft has the chunk data and update light packet. Also, I have an array of uint 8. So it's just an integer for storing the block ID. It's just an integer for storing the block ID. And I just give it this information. And here this +3 is to store the subchunk origin. We can do it differently here. We can do it here. Let's do uint 8. Let's do uint 8 chunk. Let's do a chunk and do subchunk blocks count times. And here let's do int subchunks per chunk. And let's say it's like 15. Here, let's do subchunks per chunk, like this. Let's say it's 15 subchunks per chunk. Or maybe 16. It's fine. So here we do subchunks per chunk. And what else? Oh, and here needs to be const. Like this. And here +3 to have the... or +2. We can do +2 to have the X and Z axis for the entire chunk. We don't need the Y axis, I think. We don't need the Y axis to send it. A subchunk is like 16 by 16 by 16 blocks. That's a subchunk. It's not half a chunk. A subchunk is not a half a chunk. So we need to send an entire chunk. That's what we need to do. An entire chunk. So how are we going to do it? Let me open Minecraft for reference. This is our Minecraft world with the debug stuff for when we had when we were doing the liquids. Can I? Yeah, here if we do, we need to disable this. Need to disable the wireframe stuff. Okay. Chat, this here is a one chunk. This here is one chunk. It's a single chunk. But inside of it, we have multiple subchunks, these blue lines. From here to here, it's a subchunk probably. And from here to here, it's another subchunk. So it should be 16 blocks, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 8 blocks. Oh, is this one block actually? This is maybe 2 blocks of height. This is maybe 2 blocks of height. Here, this maybe, let's set time, set day. Yeah, it's 2 blocks of height. Okay, so yeah, it's 16. It's 16. So from here to here, it's 16 blocks. Yeah, this is one subchunk, this little region. And if we have like 16 here subchunks, this is an entire chunk. And so here, this is another chunk. And here, this is another chunk, another chunk, another chunk, etc. And we're trying to send an entire chunk from the server. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. And here let's have int offset equals 0, an offset. And here, instead of having this subchunk array, we'll use the chunk array. That's what we're using. Let me think about it. We could have this array temporarily. Here we can have this array. We can have this array. And let me think about it, chat. And we don't need this. We don't need this. So here we want to fill up the chunk. We need to fill up the chunk. How can we copy data from an array to another array? C++. Copy array to another array. I'm probably wrong, but could you only send the chunk updates only from the chunks that have changed? Yeah, but at the start we need the entire terrain. You can just do equals, or you can use std copy. We can do std copy. Yeah, std copy. Yeah, we can do that. But let me think about it, chat. Let me think about it. The reason we're doing all of this is because the terrain generation was slow, because we were sending one subchunk per packet. Like one packet had one subchunk. And we wanted to handle more of them at the same time. We tried to do it from the client. But here to handle more packets, we need to wait between packets. Because they don't get sent out instantly. And we cannot afford to wait. That's why we handle one packet per frame. And so we were limited to one subchunk per frame, which if your FPS is 100, that's 100 subchunks per second. And we need 6,000 subchunks for the terrain. So that's like 1 minute to generate the world generation, which is slow. That's why we switched to the server to send from the server an entire chunk instead of one subchunk. That's what we're doing, chat. So let's go to the server here. Let's do std copy. We'll copy to the server. How are we going to do this? Source, destination. So we need the source. The source is the chunk data. Std begin, the chunk, and then std end chunk, like this. And the destination should be... No, this is the subchunk, the source. This is subchunk, the source, subchunk, the source. And here we do std begin chunk. But this will... we need an offset here, plus offset, like this. We need an offset. And so after all of this, here offset plus equals subchunk blocks count, like this. Like this. And here we send it the chunk data. We send it the chunk data, but at the end we want what do we want at the end? We want the chunk X and Z coordinates, so we know which chunk this is it. So let's do that. So at the end we want, and where should that be? This is the end. Here plus 0. This should be subchunk X, and then we do subchunk Z. This is plus 1, like that. And here we send this many blocks. We sent an entire chunk plus 2 more bytes for the chunk position, and that's it. Now we should be sending an entire chunk. We should be sending from the server to the client an entire chunk, but we need to test it, and we need to actually use this. We need to actually use this. So we need to use it in the client. We need to use it in the client here. No, not this part. We need to close this. In the game here, now we're receiving an entire chunk. It's not a subchunk. Yeah, guys, just do summary and you should receive a summary. Yeah. Yeah, we already sent a summary chat. We already sent one. We already sent, but it's sending it to YouTube only, sadly. I need to do it to send it to Twitch as well. So here we are in the game now, and here we want to receive an entire chunk. An entire chunk we want. We want an entire chunk which is this thing. Which is this thing. Which is this thing. Let me think about it, chat. We store all of the subchunks in this queue of subchunks. But should we change this as well? This is where we store the subchunks in this queue of subchunks. So we store them in a queue because we're going to process them later on. We process them later on, but should we store here the entire chunk? I think yes, maybe. Yeah, here we want, let me think about it, chat. Yeah, here we're reading just one subchunk. We need to be reading an entire chunk, which is how many blocks? Should be 15 subchunks per chunk. So here we want 15 subchunks per chunk to process. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to handle it? Let me think about it, chat. Yeah, we push them inside of this queue. And here, inside of this queue, we just push subchunks. And what do we do with them? What do we do with them? Inside of... let's go in game layer. Yeah, here we get the queue of subchunks here and we process them here, all of them. We process them here, all of them. We process all of them. No, let's store chunks here. Let's store chunks. I've decided. We'll store chunks. And we'll separate them into sub chunks in the game itself. That's what we're going to do. So when we receive from the server, we'll just save it temporarily, the data from the packet, and we'll process it later. That's what we're doing currently. That's what we're doing. So we need, here we want chunk data. We want chunk data. Just finished sending entire chunks from server instead of sub chunks. Now reworking the client queue to store full chunks, full recaps. Yo, that summary is amazing, man. I love that summary. Chunk data. And how is it going to look like, the chunk data? Well, here it needs to be, let's do const static int. I need the same variables, bro. I need subchunks per chunk. And I need subchunks block count. That's what I need. Let's make this capital letters. And subchunks per chunk like this. And so the data will be subchunks per chunk multiplied by subchunk blocks count, like that. Static, like that, and we have an origin as well. So here we do, this should be now chunk data, a queue of chunk data. That's it. And in networking here, we have chunk data. And here we just go over all of the data that we received, which should be chunk data. It should be subchunks per chunk multiplied by blocks count, subchunk block count. Yeah. And the origin will be, we'll read 2 bytes. This is the X, and here for the Y, it will be always like 0. It will be 0. We can do vector 2 actually. We can do vector 2 for a chunk origin. We can do vector 2 for chunk origin. So here we do like this. Okay. Okay, and we push to the queue the chunk data like that. Okay, so now we are saving the data we have received into a queue that we will process later. That's what we do. You should compress the data into run length encoding chunks. What's run length? What's run length, chat? So what now, chat? Oh, here we want chunk data. And so let's process the chunks. Let's process them. So here we are processing chunk data. And this should be chunk data. Isn't that the thing where you say, what do you mean? So a compression where if you have like the next block 10 air blocks are air, to say air block 10 times, like something like that. But it's fine, chat. Like that's on optimization, and optimization hurt us when we're learning and refactoring a lot. We don't want optimization right now. If we do compression, then when we add a new feature, we need to change a lot of code. If it works without optimization, it's fine. Hi, Petsa, what's up? Let me think about it, chat. Let me think about it. So here, this should be chunk data. And this should be chunks data. So we're processing the chunks. We're processing the chunks. Chunk data. So let me think about it now, chat. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Okay, so we have the chunk data. We need to get the subchunks from it. We need to get the subchunks. So let's do a for loop for int y equals 0, y less than chunk data subchunks per chunk, and then y plus plus, like that, and so we go over all of them. Here we need to create like 15 subchunks. We need to create 15 subchunks. And how are we going to do that? We use here, this origin is a vector 2. We need a vector 3 actually. So let's do here vector 3 subchunk origin equals what will it equal to? It should be chunk data origin x. Then for the y, we just do the y times 16. And then for the z, we do chunk data origin y, like this. And here we do subchunk origin. Okay, we created the subchunk at the right place. Here we want this to be chunk data block count. This is the blocks count. And so what now, chat? What now? Well, we need an offset here as well. Int offset equals 0. And here we plus equal it to how much? We need to skip like a bunch of blocks every time. And here, let me think about it. Here, this is the subchunk origin. And here, what do we do? This is chunk data I plus offset. I plus offset. Like that. Okay. I think this should be it, chat. I think this should be it. But we need to test it. We need to test it. What is he doing? Just do a summary. Okay, let's test it, chat. Let's test it. Now what I expect after we solve the compilation errors, what I expect is now the server to send chunks instead of subchunks. Here we need to change this to chunk data like this. Let's test it. And we need to start the server. Let's start the server. Let's start the server. What's the issue? Let's restart CMake. Here, CMake. Run it. Okay, server started. And let's start the game. Okay, connected to server. Are we getting chunks? Invalid block ID. What's the issue? The ID is 204. Where are we getting it from? Here. Where is this? This is for block hover. It's weird. What's the issue, chat? I don't get what's the issue here. This is for the raycast system, and we are getting the current block type. Is there one? Is there a current block? Current block. Let's stop the raycast for a second. Let's stop it for a second. Like if false, let's stop the raycast. Connected to server. What's the issue now? Get block type. Where is this coming from? For generating the model. So we're trying to generate a model, but the block type is weird. The block type is very weird. It's invalid. It should be between 0 and 1. It should be between 0 and 1. Where can we do a test? Where can we do a test? We can do it when we receive the chunk to see what data we receive. Yeah, let's do it there. And let's remove this to bring back the raycast. So where do we handle this? I think it's in the on update. Here, on update. Should be here. And so here, when we get chunk data, let's do a breakpoint in debug. Let's do a breakpoint and let's start it. Start it. Okay, we received chunk data. We received data. And let's see how does it look like. Data, just zeros, so it's fine. It's because it's some subchunks are mostly air. It looks fine. Maybe to add here in the watch, chunk data, and here Visual Studio monitor array. Oh, array visualizer. What's this? Yeah, I want to see the data from the chunk that's coming. Okay, let's download this array visualizer. Let's run it. Not installable on current installed products. Maybe it requires some... Yeah, works with Visual Studio 2015. Maybe you're reading it before it's fully uploaded. I'm almost certain it's not the case. I'm almost certain it's not the case. Okay, for example, yeah, we do this. A comma and number and a number to see more of it here, because when we check out the array data, we just get a single value. Oh no, it's fine. We get multiple values. Okay. So do we see different ID? Oh, here, look at this chat. With some IDs are of type 204, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Some of them are 204. They should be a type 1. So a grass block. They should be a grass block. They should be a grass block. Okay, so all of them are 204. All of them. Why are we receiving 204? Why are we receiving 204? Maybe write it in binary. Maybe it's just an offset. What do you mean just an offset? Yeah, let's go back to the server. And here we look at this. What we do, chat. If we are at the surface level or below it, we have a type of 1. Else the type is 0, air. And we save it to the subchunk itself. We save it to the subchunk. And after we generate the subchunk, we copy its data to the chunk. We copy it to the chunk with some kind of an offset. Is the offset? Oh, maybe the offset is wrong. Like here to be times size of u int 8t, maybe to be like this. Maybe the offset is wrong. Maybe the offset is wrong. Yeah, let's restart the server. And let's start the client. Let's start the client. But it will breakpoint, I think. Yeah, here it breakpoints. Now all of them are 204, bro. Wait, what? I didn't know you're Bulgarian. I'm Bulgarian too, nice. What do you mean that's better? It's not better. What do you mean that's better? There's a chance, like, we need to test out this function, std copy. Server sends, oh, we have a summary. Server sends whole chunks now, but all blocks read as ID 204. Likely an offset bug when copying subchunk data, full recap summary. Wait, what server are you using to do multiplayer and stuff? Yeah, to do multiplayer, chat. Chat voted to do multiplayer. Let's test this std copy command elsewhere, maybe. Oh, we got another summary. After a long brainstorming session, chat voted to tackle multiplayer. So the streamer is now deep in refactoring server code to send full chunks instead of subchunks. Yeah, we are trying to send chunks. Pathetic. We have a limit of 200 characters. In 200 characters, that's perfect, man. We can do something else, chat. Instead of doing std copy, just to be sure, we can do a for loop. Just to be sure. Or we can just do it here, chat. We can just do it here. So here, instead of in subchunk, to do it inside of chunk. And here plus offset, like that. We can do this instead. And when do we increase offset? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we increase offset at the wrong moment. We increase it after we are done with... No. Oh, that's the problem. Yeah. So we were changing the same subchunk all the time. We were changing the same subchunk. That was the issue. We need to change the offset here. Here, subchunk. Here like this. And here, we don't need this size of... We don't need that. So let's restart the server. Okay. And let's restart the game. Hopefully now it's all right. Oh, chat. We're doing it. But the game lags because we're processing a chunk per frame. And that causes a lag spike. Let me think about it, chat. We need to... or maybe to process this in a separate thread. Yeah, I think we can process it in a separate thread. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's process it in a separate thread. Let's process. I think we can process this part in a separate thread. Let's process it separately. Let's create a separate thread so it doesn't lag that much. But can we do it actually? Can we do it in a separate thread? Because... yeah, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. And here, what are we actually doing? Here, what are we doing here? We are creating the sub chunk. Yeah, we're just filling the data of the sub chunk. We're just filling the data. We are not even generating the mesh. We're not even generating the mesh. And here, what do we do here? Is this the part that lacks the mesh generation? Let's comment this out. Let's comment out the mesh generation just to be sure it's the part where we receive the data. Okay, it's the mesh generation. It's the mesh generation. So we request subchunk is the mesh generation. That's difficult. Yeah. Why is this having an issue? Is this fine? Yeah. The mesh generation is lagging here, handling all of the chunks. So we request subchunk mesh generation. Where do we handle the mesh generation? Where do we handle it? Where do we handle it? Where do we handle it? Generate like mesh. Where do we handle it, chat? Where do we generate the meshes? Where do we generate them? Here, I think. No, this is for this is something else. Something else. This is something else. This is for removing and adding blocks. This is the raycast. Oh, here. It's here. Yeah, and we limit it here. Mesh generation. Yeah, here is where we handle the mesh generation requests. Why can't you just render the stuff on each client? And that's what we're doing. Let me think about it. We can do something here. We can do an optimization, maybe, to not generate, when all of the blocks are air, to not generate anything here. But that will be... How are you calling it? Can you see the code for the mesh generation? Why making multiplayer? Don't worry about it, guys. Here we can do something. I think we can do something here. Here we can... Let me think about it. Yeah, in the sub chunk, we can do generated model. Yeah, that's what we can do. Here, if int has air equals 0, and here we do has air plus equals the block type, because it's either 0 or 1. So this will be a quick check if it's just a subchunk filled with air. So we can more quickly ignore air blocks and don't need to generate stuff for them. And here, if has air greater than 0, if has air is equal to 0, to do subchunk generated model true. I want to test this for a second. I want to test this. Yeah, here, if it has a generated model, it will ignore it. So I'm trying to ignore air subchunks, just to see if that makes an improvement. Still the same. Still the same. Yeah, chat. Why did you pick multiplayer, chat? Chat, why did you pick multiplayer? Chat, why did you pick multiplayer? Brother. Why is this mesh generation so slow? Yeah, if I... Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, here. Here. If I remove this, if false, if I remove mesh generation, it should be a lot faster. Yeah, if we don't have mesh generation, everything is fine. If we don't have mesh generation, look at how fast it is. It's so fast when we don't have mesh generation. It's the mesh generation the issue. And here I handle like mesh generation requests. And I handle the requests here. I go through them and I have a time limit. Like we can limit it like 1. Because we get entire chunk from the server and we get the chunk data from the server. And for all of the subchunks in the entire chunk, we request mesh generation. For all of them, we request mesh generation. We request mesh generation and we handle the mesh generation not in a single frame. We handle them in separate frames, which before solved the lag spikes. Like this is a problem we had solved before. And for some reason, it's coming back when adding multiplayer. The lag spikes from generating the subchunk meshes. I'm not sure why. Where was the code for... Yeah, for generating subchunks. Where was the code? Every time I lose it. Yeah, it should be this thing. No, it's this. Generate mesh frame by frame. It's here. So we are generating frame by frame the requested subchunks for a mesh. And we're limiting it to not take more than this amount of time, which is like... How much is this? 1 divided by 420. It's like to not take more than 0.002 seconds. We're limiting subchunk generations to not take more time than this. So I'm not sure why it's lag spiking it. Yeah, that doesn't help if a single subchunk generates a lot longer than that. Because then we'll be generating one subchunk mesh per frame. That will be it, but it will not be lagging like this. Once we finish this... and we removed this part of the code. We removed this part and it removed the lag. We can do something else. Let's go over all of the requests. Let's make it even worse by going over all of the requests. Let's do that. Just to be sure what's up. Yeah, now it's a lot worse. Okay, so this is good. This is good. This is good. So then we just need to change it. The limit. Here, let's make it be even less time. So here, this is like 0.002. If we do 5, it's 0.001. Okay, so we need to increase this number. Let's do 1 divided by 500. Or like 1 divided by 1000. We still have lag spikes. For some reason. That's very weird. We can push this mesh generation in separate thread. That's something we can do, to push it in a separate thread. We can push it in a separate thread, and is that okay? Is that okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? If we push it in a separate thread, it makes the code a little bit more complicated. I think we need to find the issue, because we don't get this problem in single player without a server. We don't get this problem when we don't have a server. There's something somewhere else is the problem. I'm sure of that, because that code was running well in single player. And here the only difference is, let's remove this. The only difference is that we receive one chunk at a time per frame from the server, and we go over all the sub chunks inside of it, and we request to generate. We do the requests here. We do them here. Or maybe I'm not sure, guys, what's causing the lag spike. Oh, we got another summary. Just isolated mesh generation as the lag culprit and is now testing pushing it to a separate thread to fix the lag spike. Full recap summary. Interesting. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Chat. Let's try to land on the brother. We cannot even land on the terrain. Why is it lagging so much, chat? What part is lagging? Because if I remove this part, it's the mesh generation for sure. Yeah, now it doesn't have any lag. It's butter smooth. And we have the... Oh, wait a minute, chat. Wait a minute, chat. Wait a minute. Oh, look at this, chat. A single subchunk mesh generation takes a lot of time for some reason. I don't know why. When we do, this is different. This is the broken part. Yeah, that's the issue, chat. A single subchunk takes a lot of time to generate the mesh for some reason. That's a crazy lag spike. I don't know why. Parallel meshing. Oh, so maybe there are multiple. Oh, maybe there are multiple subchunks with the same coordinate. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the issue. Here, when we set the subchunk origin, yeah, here we do the. Maybe you can cache the mesh result. We change the part it's changed. Subchunk origin is the chunk origin X. Then here the Y is from 0. And here it's up to 15 and times 16. Yes, because the height is 16. Because one subchunk is 16 by 16. And here the Z is chunk data origin Y. Right? Is it correct? Is that correct? Yeah, because it's a vector too. And here Maybe we don't set the right data. Here we go over all of the chunk data, and at the end we have the X and the Z. Let's just be sure and check the server as well. Let's check the server as well. So on the server, yeah, where do we set? Yeah, we send it subchunk X and then subchunk Z. Yeah. X and Z, which are from 0 to 20. From 0 to 20. I have no idea what's the issue, chat. I have no idea. Like, we got a hint. We got a hint that just the generation of the mesh of one subchunk takes a lot of time. Just the generation of the mesh of one subchunk tanks the entire FPS. That's the issue. Why are we copying it in the first place? What do you mean? We're copying it because we cannot, we separated the networking from the game. The communication with the server, it's in a separate file here because we cannot include Raylib and init in the same file because it crashes the game. And so here we communicate with the server here. This is where we receive the data. And here we cannot call like to generate mesh for the subchunk because we will need to include Raylib. And so we need to store it temporarily here so that we can process it, so we can get this data and process it in the game layer here. That's why we need to copy it now. That's why we need to copy it. That's why we're copying it. But that's just the data. That's just the, and that here, this is not what's causing the lag. This is not causing the lag. Because when I removed the mesh generation, there was no lag. And when I start the game, and we will not have any mesh generated. We don't have any mesh and FPS is super fine. And let's find somewhere blocks. Can we see terrain anywhere? And here. And when we land here on the terrain, like this. So when I break a block, it will render the mesh just for this subchunk when I break a block. And just that causes a lag spike sometimes. Yeah, it causes a lag spike. And this is just one subchunk, causes a lag spike. And in my single player game, it doesn't have this issue. In my single player game. And they're almost the same code. Almost the same code. They're almost the same code. Ah, to see the GitHub difference. It's in game layer. What's the difference? What's the difference? This was for the particles, to change the particles. Here, we just commented out code to not render the subchunks. And here, we changed it. Instead of processing one subchunk, we process one chunk. We process one chunk. What else? What else did we change? And yeah, here we process the chunks, chunk data, and we go over all of the subchunks and we add them to the world with the subchunk origin. That's it. And where do I create? Wait a minute, I want to test something. about the subchunk reference. Here, this subchunk, where do we create it? Where do we create the sub? We create it here. Yeah, we create it here, so it should be fine. Maybe it's the subchunk origin. Maybe it's the subchunk origin. Branch, compare to see full difference. To see the full difference. Maybe try over one subchunk for a test. What do you mean by that? Update server connection. Networking. Yeah, we changed networking, but it's fine. In world, we change the scaling. I'm not sure, chat. Hey there, I just came back from my C++ Raylib, so I learned ping pong game. Nice. Why is the generation of one subchunk taking so much time? We could use a profiler to see what's causing the problem. We could do that, to use a profiler to see what's causing the lag spike for the mesh generation. We could do that, chat. We could do that. Yeah, we can use a profiler. Do we have a profiler? We should have Tracy. Init. Yeah, Tracy. Let's add Tracy. Let's add Tracy. And set Tracy enable to true. And here let's link Tracy. Yeah, we need to bring back Tracy. Need to bring back Tracy. And run it again. Do we have Trace here? Yeah, we have Trace here. And does it have source code? It should have source code. Public. Public? Yeah. It has source code. What's the issue? We are adding it, the subdirectory vendor Tracy. Yeah. Oh, the name is different maybe. Tracy. Is the name different? What's the name here? What name do they use? Yeah, Tracy. Add lib. Tracy client. It's Tracy client, chat. Tracy client. It's Tracy client. Let's run it. Okay, and so let's open Tracy profiler. Open Tracy. Let's connect. Let's run the game. Oh, because we're in debug. Maybe because we're in debug mode. Maybe because we're in debug. Is it because we're in debug? Don't tell me it's because we were in debug configuration. Don't tell me it was because of that. If release fixed it, that's not a good reason. But it's good enough. Where's the terrain? Where's the terrain? You shouldn't rely on C++ optimizations. You're right. Yeah, I uncommented the mesh generation, but I want to find the terrain. I want to find the terrain blocks. And to break a terrain block, just okay. I can bring back the I can bring it back. Where is it? I can bring it back. Here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's better. It's a bit better. Bro, I just want to land, man. I just want to land. Okay. Bit better, bit better. So now we're doing chunks. Is the terrain generation faster? I'm not sure, chat. Is terrain generation faster? We could make it even... Bro, we don't need to make it faster, man. We don't need to make it faster. You should still debug why it's so much faster. No, it's fine, guys. Fine. Let me think about it, chat. So, for 2 hours, 2 whole hours, we for 2 hours we managed to change the server to send a single chunk instead of a single sub chunk. That's what we did for 2 hours, chat. That's horrible. That's horrible. Yo, we got a summary. Just discovered the lag spike is caused by mesh generation for a single sub chunk, and the streamer is now setting a Tracy profile to pinpoint the exact bottleneck. Full recap. Bro, leave the summary bot alone. He's fine. What's that profile picture? That's a weird profile picture. Add trees. Let me think about it, chat. So for 2 hours we managed to, from the server, send chunks instead of sub chunks. Again, my add trees, ores, full inventory, far length, or maybe to make the terrain endless. To make the terrain endless, or to have 2 clients. I think that would be better, to have 2 clients. I think that would be better, to have 2 clients. Is the mesher fast enough? Well, we generated this terrain. I think how fast is the mesh generation? I think it's around 20 by 20. So it's like 400 chunks. 400 chunks, let's say it's 100 FPS. So it should generate it in 4 seconds. No, it's a bit slower than that. The mesh generation, here is how the mesh generation works for one subchunk. It goes over all of the blocks and it needs for every block, when we get a block here, to generate the subchunk mesh, it needs data for all of the neighbors, for every block. So for this block, it needs this neighbor, this neighbor, this neighbor, this neighbor, this neighbor, and this neighbor below here. So to know if it's culled or not, because we are culling the sides here, we need to cull the sides. For culling, to know if, like here on the block, just this face is generated. That's for every block. Not only that, we need for every block even more neighbors to generate the ambient occlusion. We need even more blocks to generate the ambient, because we need to know for this block, does it have like here neighbors? Does it have here neighbors? Because this changes the block shading for the ambient occlusion. Or is it like this? Look at how here the mesh changed a lot more. Like for ambient occlusion. That's basically what's slowing down the mesh generation the most. Because for every block, we need to see all of the neighbors. That's why it's so slow. You're storing the chunks in groups separately. Grouping might culling client side. Yeah, culling is client side. The server is sending only the block types. That's what the culling is doing. And that's what the server is doing. It's only saying the block. It's only sending the block types. That's what it's sending. Let me think about it, chat. So we can try now to have two clients. We can try to have two clients. We have an hour. If we decide to have two clients, yeah, to add another. If we add another client, how would that look like? Well, the server will. Okay, let's open another game right now. Let's open another game. Here. Let's open another game. Build, release, game. So we're opening another game. This is another client. And it gets the same world generation. No gaming studio. If we try to get more packets at a time, we will need to wait. We will need to wait a bit. Because the packets are not sent immediately one after the other. We would have to wait. No, I would need to wait, because when I tried to do a while loop, it didn't work. Here, why is this lagging? Oh, because we are because we are getting a stream summary, I think. That's why it's lagging a bit. Okay, so this is the second client. We have two clients running here. This is the first client, and this is the other client. That's it. Let's make them see each other. Let's make the clients see each other. Oh, that would be cool, man. Okay, let's do that, man. Let's visualize the two clients. Let's visualize them, the two clients. But other stuff the client is doing, more packets could come through during that time, so that's already a wait anyway. So that's what you meant. Well, I like the way you think, but it didn't work when I did a while loop without wait time. When the while loop had 0 timeout to not wait, it didn't generate anything. And when I made it wait 0.05 seconds, like to wait something, to wait a little bit, it started generating. So we have two clients running at the same time. So let's make the clients see each other. So this is the first client, and this is the other client. So this client is at position 185, 145, and 194. And this client is at 260, 125, and 139. So let's make them meet each other. And how are we going to do that? We need to receive other players as entities. And to visualize that entity. And for visualization, we can use a sphere, we can use a cube, it doesn't matter. The difficult part is receiving the other player position. And I think the server needs to manage the positions, because right now we're managing them locally, the positions. We're managing the positions locally. We're managing them locally. We need just to, instead of having the position be locally in the client, we need to store it in the server, and in the server to tell the server when the player presses W, we say to the server, player wants to move forward, something like that, and the server to move that player. We need something like that. And then the server to update the player position. And the server needs to send back the position to the client. Let me think about it, chat. Let me think about it. Let me think about it, chat. But what will happen if... No, it's fine. We don't need to overthink it. Let's solve the problem when it comes. What should be our first step right now? What should be the first step if we want to visualize the players? You guys hold the right arrow. What should be the first step for visualizing? Because we have the players. The players are connected with the server. They are connected. If we and we need this client needs to receive the position of this client. It needs to receive the position of this client because both are in the same server. Both of them are in the same server. Both of them are in the same server. I want to see the other client. I want to see the other client position. So the server will store the client positions. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, let's make it simple. The server will store all the client positions. It will store them and we will and how will the client receive the current position? How will it receive it? How will we receive the position? Does the server constantly send the player position? Or do we request it? What do we pick, chat? Which option should we pick, chat? Do we make the client request the player position, or do we just send it from the server without having to request it? What should we do, chat? After debating features, chat voted multiplayer, so we switched branches and spent the stream refactoring server code to send full chunks of subchunks, fixing tricky offset bug, and now is... Yeah, there is a limit of 200 characters. There is a limit of 200 characters. For the summary. Like there should be, chat, there should be here. There should be a whole chapter. Yeah, this is what happened during the stream, chat. This is what happened. Chat. So testing in debug mode versus release mode. Chat suggests using a profiler. Breaking a block triggers a lag spike. Why data is copied between networking and game layer. Debugging subchunk origin coordinates. Isolated mesh generation as culprit. Discussion pushing mesh generation. Let me think about it, chat. Okay, so let's make... Okay. Let's do this, chat. Let's do this. Yeah, let's make the two players meet. Let's make them meet. And let's commit all of this. Let's make a commit here. How are we going to call it? Server handle server sending chunk data in packet, like that. Let's push it and let's commit the server code. Server, let's commit it. Where is it? Let's stop it here, git changes. We don't need the out folder. We need a git ignore here. Right here, git ignore out. We want to ignore the out folder. But it's already like committed. That's fine, it's fine. Doesn't matter. What did we do in the server? Send single chunk. Send single chunk as a packet on client connection. Let's do that. Okay, nice. If you're not sending the... what's the point of your comment, sir? Sir cries a lot. What's the point of your comment? That voted for this. Let me close Tracy here. Okay, server. Let's have all of the client positions inside of the server. Let's have them be in the server, the client positions. Let's have them be stored here. And where exactly do we store them? Current client ID. Server is now storing player positions centrally, and the next step is deciding whether to push or pull those positions to each client. Kind of alright. Send the position because you can process on the server what player positions to send. Server knows. Well, the client doesn't. Okay, thanks, bro. Okay. Let's store all of the player positions in the server. Let's store them here. Yeah, so we have at most 100 clients. We have at most 100 clients. And in the data, we just have the current client ID. That's what we have in the data. But in the data, we could have the player position. That's something we could have. The player position. Let's have here a vector tree. But we need to include raymath, I think. We need raymath for a vector tree. Right, chat? We need raymath here in the server. Let's include Raylib here, server. What's the total summary? Refactoring server to send full chunks instead of sub chunks. Finally fixing a tricky offset bug and isolation. Yeah, we need to have better summaries. We need better summaries. Here, let's include Raylib because I need the vector tree structure. And I'll have it from a raymath header file, which doesn't crash with the init header file. So let's add Raylib here. Raylib GitHub. Add Raylib. Here, let's add Raylib. Here, copy. Yeah, okay. I'll make it a limit of 400 characters and send 2 messages. Okay. Okay, chat. I'll do that instead. So here let's do git submodule add into vendor Raylib like this. We are cloning Raylib so we can actually include it. And we need to change CMake here. Let's just copy it from our game to use Raylib. Yeah, here Raylib and here Raylib. Add subdirectory Raylib and here Raylib like this. Anything else? That should be it. Maybe include of just the vendor folder. Maybe include just of the vendor folder. Do you include anything from Raylib? No. No. Okay. What's the issue? Let's move it be here. Or let's move it back because we have some issues. Raylib. What's the issue with including Raylib? Ah, it finished. Okay, it's fine now. Here, let's include raymath. Include Raylib. Raymath. Let's include raymath header. So we can have vector 3 here for all of the positions. Here we do client positions. Client positions. I don't know, that's a Twitch issue. YouTube doesn't have that issue. Because Twitch is very hard to get discovered, and so they have probably higher success with Twitch streamers. Probably. But I have YouTube, so they don't have power over me. YouTube has discoverability. So we have client positions as vector 3 structures. We have all of the client positions in the server. When the client connects, we'll generate the position for its client, for its player. We'll generate it and start sending it. We'll loop through all of the clients. We'll loop through them and send them their position. We can initialize it as well. Do we have anywhere current client here? And here we want client position, current client ID to equal. Here we'll create. Every player will start at will spawn at 0, 0. Every player will spawn at 0, 0. And yeah, we need to separate packets with an ID. It can be a single ID. Packet types can be 0 and 1. 0 is for chunk data. 1 is for the player position update. A player position update. Right? Yo, the legendary Yoshi. Thank you for following on Twitch. So what now, chat? What now? What now, chat? What's up? What's up, man? I'll give you a summary here. That's not the best summary. But I'll give you a summary. Not the best summary. So we have the current position. We have the current position and of all of the clients, and they start at 0, 0. They start at 0, 0. We need to send that position to the clients, and we also need to send the position of the other client. And also the client itself needs to send back to the server updates on this information. So how are you going to target this? How are you going to do this? Let me drink some water. I think how I'm going to handle managing the positions. We need to send it every frame here, every time. We need to send it back, the position, all of the... Let me think about it, chat. Yeah, here the server. The server every frame. Let's make the server every frame send to the to all the clients. Yeah, every frame, which can be like 100 times a second, will be sending to all of the clients. So we'll go over all of the clients. So here for int I client ID from 0 up to current client ID, and then client ID ++. For all of them, we'll create a packet where we send their current position, but we also need to send the positions of the other clients. But let's just focus on the current client position. Let's just focus on that, the current client position. Chat, I was wondering, chat. Probably this would be a lot easier in Godot, like the multiplayer stuff. Like, should we do Godot, chat? Should we do Godot, chat? Like, I'm not sure, chat. Should we do Godot? Nah. Yes. But if we do Godot, it would be with C#. It would be with C#. Why Godot? Because I'm a single developer. That's why. Because I'm a single developer. It's like trying to decide between OpenGL and Vulkan. Vulkan gives you a lot more access and freedom, but for a single developer, Vulkan is too much because you don't have the time to prepare everything. It's very slow. But if you have a team of developers, Vulkan is the best choice. And if you have already a pretty good idea what you want to build. And here with C++ and OpenGL, we have a lot of freedom of stuff to do. But here, once we started to do multiplayer, we get a little bit overwhelmed handling everything. And I feel like in Godot, we will not be overwhelmed and we'll be able to do a lot more. That's what I'm wondering. But I'm not sure, chat. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because of a few reasons. The first reason is because I like C++ and Raylib, because Raylib uses OpenGL, and I spent more than a year coding Minecraft with OpenGL. So I have an advantage using OpenGL. And using C++, we can have all kinds of cool libraries, like the Fast Noise 2 library. We have so much freedom, and like making a game in C++, like you have complete freedom to do whatever you want. But on the other side, Godot, a lot of stuff you will not need to implement. You could focus on making a game, not making the engine. And with C#, sure, it has a garbage collector. I don't like that, but it would be faster to implement and refactor stuff. I'm just thinking about it, chat. I'm just thinking about it. Because short term, it's a bad idea, but long term, it's a good idea. But I don't know, chat. I don't know, chat. You can technically use any library in Godot too, just need to make bindings. How will you make it online with Godot and you have already made it with C++? Are you gonna start from... Yeah, that's the problem, chat. That's the problem. Because it will be like the 6th or like, I don't know, 8th Minecraft clone. You're gonna start... I'm not sure, chat. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's worth it to experiment, try it out. I'm not sure, chat. I'm not sure. But here, so here, this project is for fun. It's for learning mostly, not for fun. The fun is a nice bonus. How are we going to integrate it into Godot? It does, but if the API is any good, I'm not sure, chat. I'm not sure. Because the main issue with that is that if I experiment with Godot, it will be a new learning experience. Here with Raylib, it wasn't a learning experience because Raylib uses OpenGL. And I was right at home. With Raylib, it's a bit different. With Godot, it's a bit different. But here, let's focus on this. We have 30 minutes here. Let's finish this. I'll think about this off stream, chat. I'll think about it off stream. I'll brainstorm ideas off stream. But let's finish this, what we started. Here, let's send to every client the current position. Let's send to every client the current position. So we have a summary. Server is now storing all player positions vector 3 and sending each client its own position every frame. Now that's a good summary. To be honest, if I see someone make multiplayer Minecraft clone Godot, I won't complain. Could always try it eventually. Which one you like better? Yeah, it's worth trying out, but I need to see. Should I try it? Should I try Godot off stream or during stream? A Godot experiment. Godot experiment on stream or off stream, chat. I just need to make a quick poll. Godot Minecraft in Godot experiment on stream, off stream. I just want to see, chat. What do you think about? But if it's on stream, it's like going over the same stuff, the terrain generation, no, if we do it on stream, we will start with multiplayer, probably. If we do it on stream, we'll start with multiplayer. If it's on stream. If it's on stream. Yeah, I'll leave it this on the site. But most of you prefer it to be on stream. But it's just 18 volts. That's not everybody. That's not everybody. During stream, you get chat to help you. During stream, yay. Sometimes forget I have Godot on my phone. Okay. Let's send all of the player positions to all of the clients. Let's do that. How are we going to do that, chat? We need to send now what type of data are we sending. Here, this is different. Here, this is for the player positions. This is a different type of data. So here we can do enum packet types. Chunk data is 0 and we have player positions is 1. Player positions is 1. So let's send only the player position. Let's not send only the client position. Let's not send the other ones. Sometimes, if you do it on Godot, I think it can make you to compile for all platforms, including Mac OS, Linux, Android. Yeah, that's yeah. What's up, man? What's up? You are from way earlier streams. What's up, man? I remember you. Yeah, the bonus of Godot, it's easy to publish it. It's easy to publish it to everybody because OpenGL doesn't, like Mac OS doesn't like OpenGL. Mac OS doesn't like OpenGL. That's the honor bonus. So how are we going to send? We need a packet. Currently, we're storing all of the client positions in the server, and every frame we will go over all of the clients and send their positions. We'll send their positions. But I forgot how we send data. You'll need to make structure. Oh, it's not only the position, it's to where we rotate. It's fine, let's do just the position. The rotation will be a problem that we don't have it for where the other players are looking. But it's fine, we'll just do position. Yes, yet I remember you, but I don't remember you having numbers after your name. Did you change your name? OpenGL does work on macOS, but it's older version and not really supported. Yeah, they stopped supporting OpenGL. Okay, I have another poll now. I have another poll to do. Okay, so if we do a Godot Minecraft in Godot experiment, if we do that, I want another question. If I do Minecraft in Godot, which language? GD script, C#. I'll put C++ as an option, but I feel like it's not a good choice. But I'll put it as an option. So chat, if we do Minecraft in Godot, which option do you pick? I prefer C# because it gives more than GD script. And I prefer C# from C++ because it's easier to refactor stuff. It's easier to refactor code. With C++, it will be a lot slower and we'll be able to do less in 3 hours because I'm a single developer. And I feel like Godot C++ is for changing Godot itself, for doing plugins for Godot. Because I did a little bit of research, I feel like realistically it's GD script or C#. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for voting. This helps me decide. This makes me take a decision. Chat. Okay, chat, what do you think? Like a 6-hour stream on experimenting with Godot, like tomorrow or like this week. 6 hours Minecraft in Godot. Or like we can do 8 hours even. Because chat, I'll be streaming up to 17. 18 up to 25 of July, I'm not here. I'm not on the computer. So it's basically 2 days. We have 2 days, chat, before break. We have 2 days. Chat, in these 2 days, we'll do a big stream. A Godot experiment. That's what I'm thinking. I want to do 6 to 8 hour stream experimenting Godot. 20, bro, we're not coding for 24 hours. We're not coding for 24 hours. Imagine a coding subathon, coding like non-stop 24/7. This will fry my brain. We're not doing that. But imagine somebody else doing that. That would be crazy. Like coding 24/7. That will fry your brain, chat, if you code 24/7. 72 hours in. Yeah. Let's try to visualize all the clients. Let's try to visualize all the clients. Because we have 20 minutes, chat. We have 20 minutes. Okay, chat voted. C#. Okay. So to summarize, this week I'll do a stream trying to do Minecraft in Godot, maybe with multiplayer from the start, and with C#. And this stream will be more than 3 hours, hopefully 6 hours, 8 hours, hopefully. But I'll need to prepare. I can do it even tomorrow, but I'll need to start way earlier. Local man goes to hospital after his chat convinced him to do 24-hour calling stream. Yeah, it will be in the news, chat. It will be in the news. How can we send data here? How can we send data? There was another thing, chat. There's another thing. If we do Godot, I think the Godot compatibility version, there is a Godot compatibility which uses OpenGL. Here, look at this, chat. Compatibility uses OpenGL backend. And I know OpenGL. We can focus on compatibility. And the bonus is it has desktop, it has web platforms. It supports the browser. So I think this is a big win. If we do compatibility with OpenGL and probably to push a version to the web, as a website. And chat, if we publish the game as a website, is this an issue with copyright? Because you're not downloading resources. Chat. If the game is online, is that a problem, chat? After multiplayer vote, this is summary too. You're late, bot. Can wait for a crossplay. We'll see, chat. We'll see. Okay. Let's try to do the multiplayer. Let's send to all the players their position. How can we send data to them? We did it for sending the chunk data here. We need this. We need this here. Now for all of the players, we'll be sending them their position. We'll be sending their position. We just want here float position will equal the client position, client ID, X, and then Y and Z. Here Y and Z. Oh, chat, let's do another poll as well. Since you guys picked C#, have another poll for you. If, like, the idea was to try Minecraft in Godot. So Minecraft in Godot or Unity. That's another thing I want to see, chat. Godot or Unity. That's something else I want to see. Do you prefer Godot or Unity? Everybody is Godot. Unity engine itself is very good. I like Unity a lot, but I don't like the people handling Unity. I don't like the management, those that manage Unity. And for Godot, if we pick Godot, we're supporting Godot. So it's a W for Godot. But we'll see. I want to see what your opinion is, chat. I want to see your opinion. We're not doing Unreal Engine for sure. Unreal Engine... Hey, I should have added Unreal Engine just in case. I should have added Unreal Engine. Okay, let's do Unreal Engine. Let's do Godot and Unreal Engine as an option. Minecraft in Godot, Unreal. Unreal Engine. Start poll. You decide, chat. You decide. It's interesting to see what chat decides. Yeah, it's again Godot. Okay, guys, okay. So this week we'll do a stream doing Minecraft in Godot with C#, and the stream will be more than 3 hours. Hopefully 6, and it will be a stretch if I can do 8 hours. maybe as maybe on Friday, maybe on Friday or Thursday or tomorrow. Either tomorrow or the next day we'll do it as an experiment. As an experiment. Chat. As an experiment. Okay, Godot wins. Godot wins. Okay, chat. So we are sending them the positions. We'll send the positions like this. Position. We are sending back the client its position. We're sending its position, and here it's just 3. It has a size of 3. That's it. But we need to also packet ID. We need packet ID as well. We need packet ID as well. Godot gonna be easy, Unreal is better. Streamer is now sending player positions to all clients and planning a 6 to 8 hour Godot experiment stream with C#. The bot cut up. Okay, chat. So we are sending the position. So now, like, chat voted today multiplayer. Chat voted to add multiplayer. And so currently we're trying to make 2 clients see each other. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make 2 clients see each other. And for that to happen, the server needs to handle the positions. And so currently all the client positions are in the server. And they start at 0, 0. And every frame for all of the clients, we send their positions back. But we need to send also what's the packet ID. What's the packet type? We have 2 types, chunk data and player positions. Here, I want to tell the client that we are sending player position. How can I do it? How can I do it? Here, I'll need to send a size of 4. I need a size of 4, but here it requests an array. It requests an array here. It requests an array. It's just a pointer to... It's the void pointer, so it can be whatever we want. Initial contents of the packet data. Data will remain initialized if data is null. Size of the data allocated for this packet. How can I put the packet type in the start? How can I do it? We could just have the here we can have but the packet type is an ID, and here we have floats. We have floats here. We can do 4 floats. We can do 4 floats, and the first one will be packet type, and here player position. And we send the position of the client. And here size of 4. Okay. So now we should be sending it. We should be sending it. We should be sending it. And for sending the chunks, we need to also, for the chunks, we need at the start to tell the client it's of type server. It's of type like chunk data. We need to do that for the chunks as well. So we can do it where? Here offset will start as... Where is offset? Where do we send chunk data? Here, offset. It will start as 1. Here it's +3. It's +3, where the first one will be the type. The packet types. chunk data. Chunk data. Offset starts from 1. Sure. What else? And here it's +1 and here +2. That's it. Okay. So now we should be sending the player position back to the client. We should be sending that. And the client needs to now process it. We need to copy as well this part. These packet types, we need to copy them so we can have reference. And in networking here, we can have them defined here, packet types, like that. Oh, this one conflicts with this one. It's a bit of an issue. Chunk data, chunk server, bro. Chunk server. I need to rename it to something else. Chunk server data. Chunk server data. And here, so I can have the packet types. I'm using C Raylib. Enum class. Okay, we can do enum class. So what else now? What else? Here, when we receive message, here we need to check the type. Here we need to read. Let me see, chat. We need. What was it called? Packet types. Packet type equals. We do read byte. Event packet and offset. We read 1 byte, and how can we cast it to this packet? Okay, we have the packet type, and here if packet type switch, we can do switch packet type. If it's chunk data, and then here break, and then if it's else, if it's player position. And so we handle chunk data here. We handle it here. We handle it here like that. So let's start everything just to see if it's like before. Let's start everything. Server started, nice. And then Raylib as well. And do we get the chunks? What happened? Here was this. Oh yeah, we're sending the player stuff. Here, no, this is in the server. Yeah, this is in the server. And here we are trying to send, and the peer is null. Yeah, this is. We need to do a check here. If event peer, if we don't have a. Wait a minute. What's event? Chat, what's event? Oh, we need an event. Where do we... this is the event. Oh. So, oh, yeah. We need to create a different... How do we need to handle this? How are we going to handle this, chat? How are we going to handle this? Here we need an event. Let me look at the Raylib stuff. When we send data here, event. Yeah, but we... Let me think about it, chat. How do we handle this? How can I send data? Is event peer just an int? It's a pointer to init peer. Ah, we have a peer here. Oh, bro, here. Peers, client ID. Done. Let's restart the server. Okay, let's start the client. We should get terrain generation. Terrain generation? I think I saw. Do we have terrain generation? I don't see terrain generation. Yeah, here. Okay, here. I don't see terrain generation, chat. Yo, what's this? Yo, what's this? What's this? Chat. What's the issue here? Event type. Event type. Yeah, something broke. But what broke? Yeah, when we send the chunk data. Yeah, we just send it like wait a minute, chat. No, this is when we receive chunk data. This is when we receive. This is when we receive chunk data. When we receive chunk data, we do this. Basically, we just save the data here in this stuff. Yes, it's the same like before. We just push it into a queue. So let's look at the server then. Here, we send it this part here, but here we should be telling it the type is player positions, which should be of type 1. To be player positions. And we are ignoring this type of packet. This type of packet, we are ignoring it. We can try something else. We can do it after the server stuff here. We can do it at the end. We could do it at the end. And to start server again. And start client. I don't see meshes generating. Wait, but if we have... Wait a minute. If we have here like blocks, we have blocks here. So they should get mesh generated, right? Where are all the blocks? Okay, we can do something else. We can in the server, we can stop sending the player position. Here, let's comment this out, just to be absolutely sure that was the issue. Yeah, server started. And here we run this. Okay, we get blocks, but we don't get the mesh. Like I have to manually ask for the... Oh, because here we don't have it and here we don't have it. Yeah, we just got 2 chunks. Oh, now we got these chunks. We're very... and the positions are very weird. Positions are very weird. Yeah, it's maybe the sending of the... oh no, oh, I get what the problem is. At least I have an idea. We need to check. Here, when packet type, we need to convert it to uint8, I think. Here. But it should automatically convert actually. When we do this. Should automatically convert. Oh, we probably are not giving it an no. Would be fine. On the far lands. Yeah, chat will do a summary. We'll do a summary, chat. So we'll do a summary here. Where's the game? So chat voted today to add multiplayer. We managed to like it was very slow generating the terrain because we had a server in the start for this stream. At the start we had a server that sent, I don't think that's correct, the packet type should be the first byte, not in the first. The packet type should be the first byte. It's the first byte. It's actually the first byte. Here. Like it's the first byte. It's the first one. The packet type is the first one. So at the start of the stream, we had a server that generated the whole terrain. And here the game got... no, that's a chunk. That's a chunk. So we... Is it? Yeah, it's a chunk. At the start, we had a server that generated the whole terrain, and when a client connects, it got all of the data of the block types. And once it got the block types, it generated the meshes. But it was receiving one subchunk per frame. And it was very slow. So we made it faster by changing the server to send a whole chunk instead of one subchunk at a time, which made it a bit faster. And that took us 2 hours because of stupid mistakes. And then we decided we ran 2 clients, but those clients couldn't see each other because the server was not handling the player positions. So I changed the server to handle the player positions. And we got into the second issue where we started sending from the server all of the player positions. But now the server is both sending terrain generation data and the player positions. So we have different packet types. And we, at the end here, tried to differentiate between the different packet types. And currently we have an issue trying to resolve. Because we are breaking the packets. By trying to make different packet types, we broke them. And also, no, I read comments, bro. I read every comment, man. I may miss some comments, but I read every comment. And on another thing that we did is I asked chat, I had an idea to do an experiment stream because here we have like 2 more days before 7 days no streams. We have 2 more days. So this week I had an idea to do an experiment in a stream where we do Minecraft in Godot. So chat voted between Godot, Unity and Unreal. Chat voted for Godot. And in Godot, between GDScript, C# and C++, chat voted C#. And so we'll do an experiment stream that's more than 3 hours, where we will do Minecraft in Godot with C#, hopefully in 6 hours, if possible 8 hours stream. It will be either tomorrow or the day after that. And anything else? Oh, and I'm thinking chat. I need to do a poll here, chat. If we do Minecraft in Godot, should it be multiplayer from the start or no? Minecraft in Godot stream multiplayer from the start. No multiplayer from the start. Chat, I need you to vote here. This is very important. if we do Godot if we do Minecraft in Godot, do we do multiplayer from the start or no? That's what I want to know, chat. This is an important vote, chat. This is very important. Okay, so we'll do multiplayer from the start. Yeah. So either tomorrow or Friday, we'll do a Godot stream where we do Minecraft in Godot. Hopefully it will be 6 or 8 hour stream. If not, 3 hours is also fine. Yeah, okay. We'll make it be multiplayer. We'll make it be multiplayer from the start. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So chat, thank you for watching. This stream is 3 hours, so I don't burn out. I'll see you tomorrow, chat. Right, guys? Yeah, I'll raid on Twitch. On Twitch we'll do a raid to a cool developer. And on YouTube we'll do a raid. Lucas. Raid. Lucas. Yeah. We're doing a raid on Twitch and on YouTube. Where is the browser? Yeah, here is the browser, youtube.com. I think he should be, yeah, he should be on YouTube as well. Chat, check him out. And say, yeah, check out Lucas. He does a game in Vulkan. He's doing a game in Vulkan. So I think, guys, you should like this. He's doing it Vulkan. So he's doing it much harder. He's doing it much harder. Yeah, chat. Bye, chat.
CS rated your channel with 4 viewers.
Yo, hello YouTube kinds, and thank you for raid Pekka. Pekka raid, yeah.